If you're a Pi Network pioneer, this could be the most important video you watch this year. You know what Pi Network just officially announced? They're defending their 100 billion coin supply and completely rejecting all community demands to burn tokens. I know exactly what you're thinking. Are they crazy? But here's the bombshell I discovered after analyzing their strategy. This decision could make early pioneers incredibly wealthy, and I'm going to prove exactly why in the next few minutes. You know what? I've been tracking this project for years, and what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see Pi's future value. Before we dive into this game-changing revelation, you must follow my Telegram and Facebook pages. Links are in the description below. You know what? I personally share exclusive Pi Network insider updates and analysis that could impact your holdings that you won't find anywhere else on YouTube. Trust me, after years of analyzing crypto projects, you don't want to miss what's coming next in this video. Here's what's happening right now that has the entire Pi community in chaos. You know what thousands of Pi pioneers have been demanding for months? Burn 20 billion tokens to pump the price. But Pi Network just made their final decision. They're keeping all 100 billion coins and refusing to burn a single token. I'll be honest, when I first heard this, I thought they were making the biggest mistake in crypto history. But then I dug deeper into their master plan. And you know what I discovered? This controversial move is actually setting up early pioneers for massive wealth. But only if you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. Stay until the end, because what I'm about to reveal in minute 7 will blow your mind about Pi's real value strategy. You know what most people don't understand about Pi Network's strategy, and I'll be honest with you, they're not trying to create another Bitcoin where only the wealthy can afford whole coins. In my experience watching crypto markets, I've seen what happens when supplies are too small. Pi Network chose 100 billion coins for one brilliant reason: global accessibility, and I think this is genius. You know what happens when cryptocurrencies have tiny supplies? The prices skyrocket so high that regular people in developing countries get completely shut out. And frankly, that's not sustainable for real adoption. Think about it this way. You know what's better than having expensive coins that only rich people can buy? Having affordable coins that billions of people worldwide can actually use for daily transactions. I've personally seen projects fail because they became too expensive for ordinary users. With 100 billion total supply, Pi can serve millions of users without becoming so scarce that it's unusable for regular purchases. You know what this creates, in my opinion? A real economy where Pi actually functions as money, not just a speculative asset like we see with most other cryptos. Here's where it gets really interesting, and you know what? I was shocked when I first analyzed these numbers that most Pi pioneers have no idea about. Out of those 100 billion coins, only 7.81 billion are actually circulating right now. You know what that means to me as someone who's tracked crypto projects for years? We're still in the early stages and there's massive room for controlled growth. I personally think the Pi team has structured the distribution brilliantly so that 80% of all coins go directly to the community. That's you and me. The pioneers who believed in this project from the beginning. You know what's even more impressive from my analysis? 65% of the entire supply is reserved specifically for mining rewards for community members like us. Another 10% goes to local Pi organizations worldwide, and 5% supports liquidity pools that keep everything running smoothly. You know what this prevents, in my professional opinion? Whale domination, where a few big players control everything and manipulate prices. I've seen too many good projects destroyed by whales, and Pi's approach is refreshing. You know what Pi Network realized that other projects missed, and I have to admit, it took me a while to understand this? Token burning creates artificial scarcity that benefits early holders but destroys long-term adoption. I've watched projects burn tokens and seen short-term pumps followed by long-term failures. Instead of burning tokens like everyone's demanding, Pi uses smarter inflation control methods, and honestly, I think this is more sustainable. You know what these are? Having mechanisms that gradually reduce mining rewards, strict KYC verification processes, and controlled release schedules. Here's the kicker that changed my mind completely. You know what Pi's approach does that burning can't? It maintains affordability for new users while still protecting the value for existing holders. If they burned 20 billion tokens right now, prices would spike temporarily, but then new users from developing countries couldn't afford to participate. You know what happens then, based on what I've observed in other projects? The network stops growing, adoption stalls, and the whole project eventually fails. I believe Pi's team learned from other projects' mistakes. You know what separates Pi Network from every other cryptocurrency project in my experience? They're building for mass adoption, not quick profits, and I respect that approach immensely. With over 60 million users already and growing, Pi is positioning itself to become the world's first truly global digital currency. You know what makes this possible in my analysis? Having enough coins to serve billions of users without creating artificial scarcity that I've seen kill other promising projects. The Pi team estimates that only 10 to 20 billion coins will be available on the open network in the early stages. You know what this means for early pioneers like us, and I'm speaking from personal conviction here. We're getting access to a significant portion of the circulating supply before the masses even realize what's happening. In my opinion, by the time global adoption kicks in and billions of people want Pi coins, we'll already have our position secured. I genuinely believe we're witnessing history in the making. Here's the bottom line, and you know what? This is information that I personally believe could literally change your financial future. Pi Network's decision to maintain 100 billion coins isn't about keeping prices low, it's about building sustainable, long-term value, and I've staked my reputation on this analysis. You know what happens when a cryptocurrency becomes the go-to digital money for billions of people? Even with a large supply, the value per coin becomes life-changing for early holders, and I've seen this pattern before in successful projects. You know what I honestly see happening in the next few years based on my research? As Pi Network continues expanding globally and more real-world applications launch, the demand for Pi coins will explode while the supply remains controlled and predictable. In my professional opinion, early pioneers who accumulated Pi during the mining phase will find themselves holding incredibly valuable assets in a truly global digital economy. I'm so confident in this that I've been accumulating Pi myself throughout this entire journey. You know what? After years of analyzing crypto projects, I genuinely believe Pi Network's strategy might seem controversial now, but history will prove it was genius. By choosing accessibility over artificial scarcity, they're building something that could revolutionize how the world uses money, and I'm personally excited to be part of this journey. As a Pi pioneer, you're not just holding coins, you're holding a piece of the future global economy, and that's something I truly believe in. If this video opened your eyes to Pi Network's real strategy, like it did for me when I first understood it, you know what to do. Smash that like button, share your honest thoughts in the comments below, and hit subscribe for more Pi Network insights that I personally research and won't find anywhere else. You know what? Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update that could impact your Pi holdings. I put real effort into bringing you this analysis. Remember to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages for exclusive content and real-time updates where I share my personal insights daily. Until next time, keep mining, keep believing, and keep building the future with Pi Network alongside me.